Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be of our tour of our feeding area, our shops. It's pretty windy today, so I figured I'd probably just stay in the side-by-side and drive you guys around, and then we'll head into the shops and kind of show you what we all have inside there. Start here, I'm just by our shop. And then next to our shop is our commodity bays. So each one of these bays has a different feed. So this is ground corn, canola meal, which is from a canola plant in North Dakota, your byproduct. Wheat mids, which comes out of Carrington from a processing plant where they make pasta. And then this is our mineral vitamin mix. And then we have two bays of wet corn distillers, so that's a byproduct from ethanol. So we go back and forth between the two. So they're going to bring us another load tomorrow morning. We've got a half full bay here. And then we use this open area to store our alfalfa baleage and hay that we're feeding. So these bales sitting here, these will be for not tomorrow but the following day. And these are here ready for tomorrow morning. And then we've got beet pulp from sugar beet processing here in North Dakota. And then I'll drive around, I'll show you where we load our feed wagon. So we'll back our feed wagon in this pit here, and then it'll sit a couple feet below the level where the payloader would stand to dump. And we do that so that it's easier to dump in the mixer when we're loading the feed. We'll take you over to our silage and airage piles, and then we'll head into the shop. One of the farms that we buy our alfalfa baleage from, they typically haul most of their bales here over the winter time. So we've got some stacked here on our silage slab, and we've got some on the other side of our shop as well. And I believe they have a couple loads left, and then we should have all of our alfalfa here for us to make it until next crop, I guess. So this is our airage pile. If you've been watching since the beginning, you would have seen us making these piles. Our silage pile over here, and then we've got this other smaller pile that if you've been watching since the beginning, we had some down corn that we couldn't chop as silage because it wouldn't feed into the chopper, so we ended up making kind of an airage out of it, but it's more of a mix between airage and silage. We started feeding that here probably about a week ago. We're feeding it to our heifers, our calves, our far off dry cows, and we're putting a little bit into our lactating cow mix, mainly just so that we feed through this pile at a decent pace, that we don't leave the face open too long. I'd like to get that pile fed up before spring, so we'll probably feed a little more or a little less to our milking cows depending on how fast we start going through that pile. So we have two hay sheds. This is the bigger one here. We can stack big square bales, 3x4s, 8 bales high, like we have at the end here. And then we've also got round bales of straw stacked in here. We go fairly high with those. We got 6 high there in the center, but once we get to the ends, we're about 5 high. Otherwise, we hit the roof. So we mainly have straw in these hay sheds typically. So this is round bales of straw, big square bales of straw, and then down at the end where we started, there was some bales of it's Italian ryegrass. We typically store mainly straw in our hay sheds because all of our alfalfa is in baleage form. We did buy some dry hay here this past year because it was so dry that our alfalfa growers didn't have the amount of alfalfa that they usually do. But in this smaller hay shed, we will store some, we've got some straw in here, but also some grass hay. And then, yeah, like I said, we do have some alfalfa hay bales like these right here. We've got a few stacks of dry alfalfa hay left, and some more round bales of grass hay. We feed the grass hay to our dry cows, and then we've got bundles of small straw, small straw bales. We get these in bundles of 14 so we can handle them with our telehandler, and we like to use these on the calves in the hutches and in the barn. Makes it a lot easier to bed those individual pens there. And a little bit more straw here at the end, the big 3x4 bales. We'll head into the shop here now. I'll show you the original shop, and then we added on to it. Don't really remember what year it was. Could have been 2017, but I'm not 100% sure. But the original shop, a smaller shop, together with our commodity building, we built that in 2009 when we started here originally. The size of the hay sheds, in case you guys are wondering, or if you're interested in all the sizes. The smaller one, I believe, is 200 feet long and 80 feet wide, and the bigger one that I showed you first is I believe 300 feet long and 100 feet wide. The smaller one would be about 16, and the bigger one about 18 feet high. Yeah, in case you guys are wondering. And then we'll head into the shops here. I apologize for the mess in here. My dad's not really happy about me showing you guys this because he doesn't like having things messy. Just the way it is today. It's hard to keep the shop clean because we like to move all the equipment outside when we clean in here, and that's not as easy to do in the winter time because I don't want to have all these doors open for a long period of time. But we park our feeding payloader in here. We also park that smaller payloader that would typically sit right here. And then we have our molasses tank with a pump inside here. Then it goes up and out the building. Then we drive the feed wagon underneath that. We have this tank inside so that we don't have issues with it in the wintertime, freezing up, or issues with the pump. They say you're supposed to be able to put these outside even in North Dakota, but I'd rather just have it inside and not deal with the issues, I guess. We've got some bags of mineral here stacked around the edge of the shop. Each individual group of cows or heifers or calves has their own specific ration and their own mineral mix. So the mineral mix that I showed you outside, that's for our milking cows. Then our calves, heifers, far off dry cows, and close up dry cows have their own batch of minerals that are in bags. And we've got an extra pallet of milk balancer that we mix with the milk for the calves. Engine oil, hydraulic oil. We store some extra parts up there, filters for our equipment. Just a lot of extra stuff that we have sitting here. It seems like you're always collecting extra things or keeping two of everything and always adding to that. It just sometimes feels like you just end up with a bunch of junk that you're never going to use. But yeah, try to save what I think we're going to use and get rid of what we're not going to use because it just adds to the clutter. Some lick tubs for the cows, tools, power tools. We don't have a huge amount of tools. We try to do some of our own fixing around here, but more serious things we typically will call the dealer for equipment. Yeah, air compressor. We'll head into the other shop here. It's basically on the other side of this wall. We didn't take the wall out at that time. Didn't feel like it really made sense, I guess, to spend the money to take that wall out. So we don't keep this one as warm as the other one, since the other one we have the minerals. There's a sink in there to wash your hands. We have some more storage over here. Def tank. If any of you guys are familiar with Def, it's an absolute pain in the butt in the winter time. We have to keep this inside because otherwise it freezes solid, and that's a big reason why we built this addition to our shop here, so that we could have all of our equipment inside, especially with Def and all this newer equipment. Just seems like you need to have it inside because otherwise you're going to have Def issues, and if you have a lot of cows to feed, you don't want to have issues with your tractor in the morning or with your payload, or you want to be able to get there and know that it's going to start and be able to mix feed for you. So that's why we have some of this equipment inside. Skid steers in here, our excavator, tractor. This lift is actually our electrician's. He was working on some lights, so he's got it parked in here for now. Skid steer over there, and then where I'm standing here, this is where the tractor with the feed wagon would come in and be parked overnight. Pretty much anything with an engine in it, skid steers, tractors, payloaders, we park them all inside. We've got a couple skid steers that are parked in our sand separation building, which is heated. You guys have seen that before. And then one skid steer is parked in the barns that we used to push up feed every 2 hours. So that one is also parked inside all the time. He's just coming in with the tractor here. He's finished feeding for the day. Some of you asked to see all of our equipment. I'd probably do that later this spring or maybe this summer, so that we have some time to clean some of this stuff up. You've seen a lot of it here today. Yeah, some of our skid steers won't be in here, and that smaller payloader you've seen in other videos. So I think that'll probably be it for this video. If you have any questions about anything I said, or if you want me to explain anything more, put it in the comments and I'll make a Q&A video this weekend. Well, yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.